The November elections brought a lot of change to Washington. The Republicans took control of the House of Representatives. Leanne Pusey, President and CEO of the industry's American Insurance Association, explains what the November elections may mean for the key congressional committees that deal with insurance issues.
Well, there's obviously been a change of leadership, so that's going to trickle down from everything from the Speaker's office to the committees, as you suggest. In the House Financial Services Committee, we'll see a familiar face as chairman, and that's Spencer Backus from Alabama. He has been the ranking member, so the most senior Republican on that committee in the past. So he will move and just change seats, so to speak, with Barney Frank, who will be the ranking Democrat on that committee going forward at the full committee level. And Congressman Jeb Hensarling of Texas will be the vice chair for the Republicans, two very strong leaders of that committee historically and for the Congress as a whole. And then with respect to insurance in particular, we will have Congresswoman Judy Biggert of Illinois, who will have the subcommittee that has direct jurisdiction over insurance matters. The industry obviously has a lot of presence in the state of Illinois. We also have a good long-term working relationship with Ms. Biggert. I think she's always been fair on issues, and the industry's always had an open door with her. So we look forward to her being our immediate chairman on issues at the subcommittee level, and then continuing to work with Mr. Backus, and for that matter with Mr. Frank and the Democrats in the committee on the issues going forward. But it's definitely a change. I think there's about a 7-seat advantage for the Republicans in terms of ratio in the committees. And I think it will mean a change in the agenda and a change in the issues that will be dictated, I think, largely by the election and the issues that the voters identified. But I think it'll be an environment that will be, I think, a little more balanced for the pro-business viewpoint, and we'll have an opportunity, I think, to work closely with those committee members.
Now, on the Senate side, not as much change. Could you refresh us as to, then, the Senate Banking Committee in particular, who's in charge there, and what do you see happening there, and any change?
Well, we did have a change in the Senate in terms of the Banking Committee. You're absolutely right, of course, that Republicans fell short of the numbers needed to take control of the Senate, but they have a very close margin overall, which I think will change the tone and tenor of the Senate. But with respect to the Senate Banking Committee, Senator Christopher Dodd of Connecticut, of course, had retired and announced that retirement well in advance of the election. So he's going to be replaced by the next most senior Democrat on the committee, which is Senator Johnson from South Dakota. And Senator Johnson's been on that committee for quite some time as well. I think all sectors of the financial community are familiar with the senator. He'll do a good job as chairman. I think, again, someone who has been fair and open, I think, to the financial community's arguments. That committee has tended to be a little less partisan in that particular Senate committee, I think, than its House counterpart. On the Republican side, Senator Shelby, Richard Shelby of Alabama, will be the ranking Republican on that committee, as he has been under Senator Dodd. And then there's been some turnover with, we don't know yet of those new Republican senators who will go to the committee. There's several open slots with retirements from this past season. So we'll have a little different makeup in that committee. But in terms of the leadership, it will be Senator Johnson and it will be Senator Shelby.